Today's topic is how to quantum leap your self concept. And I really want to dive into this because I feel like manifestation and quantum leaping and all these things are thrown around like woo woo concepts. And in actual fact, they're grounded in science. And that's what I'm all about on this channel is grounding the science and the spirituality together to bring you an overall thought provoking episode that you can really take some hard hitting takeaways from that you can implement in your life to really elevate it this year. So let's dive in. But before we do, I really, really appreciate it so much. If you could go and leave me a review, it would really help the show and t- really help me in continuing to bring you free content. And I'm going to get some really exciting guests on now for you. I've sorted out my tech issues in the background. So yeah, if you could do that, I'd be eternally grateful to you. Now on to the episode. So to start with, why do you think that it seems like some people are making these huge quantum leaps in their lives while other people are just staying stuck in the same patterns year after year? But what if I told you that the key to these massive shifts is not in working harder or grinding harder? It's actually just about shifting your identity. So before we get into the how of quantum leaping your self concept, I really want to break down what it actually means to quantum leap. It's not just about a huge financial gain or achieving a massive goal or getting something really extraordinary, because I feel like that's what it is made to feel like it's this huge unattainable thing that is not difficult to do, but it can be there's a lot of steps involved to doing it. And I'm here to tell you that it is not. Because it's about shifting who you are at a core identity level so that your external reality begins to reflect that internal shift. And I want you to think about this. So in quantum physics, when you move from one state to the other, you're not just gradually getting there, you are making an instantaneous leap. And you go from one quantum state to a whole new one. And in life, the same principle applies because when you elevate your self concept, which is who you believe, who you are at a core, fundamental subconscious level, your reality is going to shift just as fast. Now, I don't want you to get me wrong because this is not just going to be about manifestation hacks, thinking positive, or wishful thinking. We're actually talking about the brain science and neuroscience that explains how your identity shapes your entire reality and how shifting it can lead to some really exciting quantum shifts in your life. So, why does this even matter to you? You might be thinking, but because right now I know that you may be feeling like you're working harder, you're pushing more, or you're feeling frustrated because things are just not clicking into place for you. But the truth is that you might not be aligned with your next level self. And let's talk about why your self concept is the key to unlocking those massive shifts. We all know the saying, you are what you believe you are, and how much of that is true. And it is a lot more than you think. And I want to dive more into that. Before we do, I'm just going to have a sip of my massive coffee. And you have to excuse got a bit of a cold, which is hopefully leaving my body. That's another topic actually I wanted to touch on just now. I am a firm believer in the energetic state of the planet, and they're called the Schumann resonances. And I've seen a lot of people getting sick lately and feeling ungrounded. And so, actually, yesterday I took myself out for a huge barefoot walk just because I wasn't feeling great yesterday. And I think it's something the whole world is going through. Anyway, back to our topic. So, the research in neuroscience and neuroplasticity shows us that our brains are constantly rewiring based on our experiences, our thoughts, and our beliefs. And what this means is that your brain is physically shaping the way that you experience the world based on who you believe that you are. I want you to think about this, really think about this, because if you've always seen yourself as someone who struggles with money, struggles with relationships or success, your brain is going to find the evidence to confirm that belief to you. And this loop is going to continue until you consciously decide to break it. So, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and if you have not heard of this man, then I highly recommend that you check him out. He has done groundbreaking work in neuroplasticity, and he says that when you change your thoughts, you are literally changing your brain. And when you change your brain, you change your experience. And that is the true power of doing identity work. It's honestly life changing. And I'm so excited and grateful and proud that it is my life's work. And I just want to go into how shifting your self concept is not just about having these more positive thoughts, it's about rewiring your subconscious blueprint so that you can step into the reality of the woman that you know that you are here to be. And I've actually been quantum leaping my whole life, and I didn't realize it at the time. I've just been contemplating on that this morning because every time that I feel like I'd outgrown a version of myself, I just moved. I moved houses, I moved jobs, I even moved countries. And I have moved houses something stupid like 50 times over three different countries. And I've had multiple different jobs because I just didn't, if I didn't feel fulfilled in a spot, I just moved. And I felt that pull towards something bigger and greater than me. And even when I couldn't really decide what that was. So, like I said, I went from New Zealand to Australia to the UK. I became a midwife and then I quit all of that and I moved back to New Zealand to pursue my business. In those times on the way back, I traveled solo. I was always chasing new experiences. And at the time, I just thought I was making bold choices. But now I see exactly what I was doing. And it wasn't just about changing my environment, although that is a huge thing. If you're looking to change your life, look at what is around you and who is around you, what you're consuming. Your environment is so key to this work. So I wasn't just changing my environments, but I was actually changing my self concept and I was stepping into new identities, rewriting the old stories I was telling myself, and expanding far past what I believed was possible for me when I was a teenager. And every time I made these leaps, my reality shifted so fast around me. And this is the power of identity work. And you don't change your life by tweaking those surface level things, by working harder, by hustling more, by waiting for external circumstances to shift. You change your life by becoming the version of you who already has what you desire. And I began to truly understand that your identity determines your reality. And when you shift who you believe you are at a very deep level, everything else has no choice but to shift to match your new identity. So let's break this down into clear action steps that you can begin implementing today. So here's how to start quantum leaping your self concept. So we start with identifying the old identity that's holding you back. The first step that you want to take is to identify the old identity that you've been operating from. So I want you to think about the following things. What are the stories that you are telling yourself? What beliefs about yourself have you held on for far too long that just aren't serving you anymore? Where is it that you feel stuck in your life and you can't move forward? These things are going to be your starting point because your old self concept is running the show and it's time to face that head on. Because as I love to say, and I have found this to be so true in my life, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And no one is coming to help you make that change. You just have to do it yourself. So, number two is you want to decide who it is that you want to become because you can't change your life without first changing who you believe that you are. And I want you to start by visualizing the version of you who already has everything that you want. What does she believe about herself? What kind of decisions does she make? And how does she show up in the world? And I want you to get really clear on this vision because once you embody it, the universe will have no choice but to match your energy. And number three, you are going to rewire your subconscious to align with your future self. And this is where the magic is going to happen. So, to quantum leap, you need to reprogram your subconscious mind by using guided visualizations to step into the energy of your future self, by writing new affirmations that reflect the version of you who already has everything that you desire, by practicing embodying that version through your thoughts, your actions, and your choices. And then number four, and probably one of the most important things, and something that's really not talked about in the, especially in the manifestation realm, is that you don't just sit back and wait for things to change. You take aligned action. And once you've done the inner work, it's time to take aligned action. The more that you move in the direction of your elevated self, the more your identity and your reality will align.